Hey everyone, so today's ASMR video, as I'm sure you can tell, is going to be a poetry reading again, and I've selected 3 poems from 3 different poets from 3 different books, which I will read out to you. So we'll take a look at the 3 that I've selected and then I'll get into reading them. As always, if you have any suggestions for any particular poets or poems or other kinds of ASMR videos you'd like me to do, let me know in the comments and I promise to do them as soon as I can. So, the first poem is by Lord Byron, shock horror, I know. This comes from this little wee selected poems of Byron. And I'm not sure if I've read from this book before, but the poem, if I can find it, that I'm reading today is Fill the Goblet Again. And I've only read this a few times, but I recently fell in love with it. I love the rhythm. I think when I read it, it's just got such a beautiful rhythm to it, and it is labelled as a song. So I guess it is kind of sing-songy. And you'll find that out when I read it if you're unfamiliar with it. And then the next one is actually from a book that I thought I'd lost, and then I was clearing out a crate of books and then I found the book, so I'm really happy about that, as I think the last time I featured this book it was actually a library book, and this is The Nation's Favourite Poems, and it's got such a wide range of poems in it. And the one I'm reading is actually such a surprise to me. It's by Keats, and I never used to like Keats. I never used to hate him as such. I could just never get on board with his writing style. But quite recently I've started to take quite a liking to him. I blame Hampstead, probably, subconsciously. So I thought I'd read a Keats poem to see how I kind of fare with reading his work and getting on with his writing. And the one I've selected, as you can see there, is To Autumn, and I don't know anything about the poem, so I can't tell you anything about it, unfortunately. But no doubt if I like reading it out loud and continuously do that, because I do tend to, if I'm on my own, and sometimes if I'm not on my own, I have a habit of just picking up a book, turning to a random page, a poetry book of course, turning to a random page and just reading it out loud and hoping for the best. And sometimes I'll be reading a poem and thinking, I don't like the way this sounds. Because for me, and I know it's the case for some people but not for everybody, to me the rhythm is almost, if not as important as the words of the poem. I find that a poem can have the best language in it and give off the best stories, but if the rhythm is not to my liking, I'm not that bothered. And basically, if it's not iambic pentameter, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm just very partial to that. Then the third poem is from a new book that I bought, and I was very naughty because I shouldn't have bought it, because I'm not supposed to be buying anything just now. I made a pact with myself, but I couldn't help myself. This is 100 Favourite Poems, and the one we're going with today I had never heard of, but I read it and thought, yes, that is perfect. I was going to read some of Paradise Lost until I found this one, and this is Silver, if you can see that, by Walter de la Mare. So hopefully that one will be quite good as well. Again, as with the Keats poem, I don't know a great deal about it because I haven't had time to do any research into them, because I just kind of picked up the books this morning, started from the first page and read until I found a poem that I thought would be suitable. So we'll start with the Byron poem. So this is Fill the Goblet Again. Fill the goblet again, for I never before felt the glow which now gladdens my heart to its core. Let us drink, who would not, since through life's varied round, in the goblet alone, no deception is found. I have tried in its turn all that life can supply. I have basked in the beam of a dark rolling eye. I have loved, who has not, but what heart can declare that pleasure existed while passion was there? In the days of my youth, when the heart's in its spring, and the dream that affection could never take wing, I had friends who has not, but what tongue will avow that friends' rosy wine are so faithful as thou? The heart of a mistress some boy may estrange, friendship shift with the sunbeam thou's ne'er can change. Thou grow'st old who does not, but on earth what appears, whose virtues like thine still increase with its years. Yet if blessed to the utmost that love can bestow, should a rival bow down to her idol below, we are jealous whose not, thou hast no such alloy, for the most that enjoy thee, the more we enjoy. Then the season of youth and its vanities past, for refuge we fly to the goblet at last. There we find, do we not, in the flow of the soul, that truth, as of yore, is confined to the bowl. When the box of Pandora was opened on earth, and misery's triumph commenced over mirth, hope was left, was she not, but the goblet we kiss, and care not for hope, who are certain of bliss. Long life to the grape, for when summer is flown, the age of our nectar shall gladden our own. We must die, who shall not, may our sins be forgiven, and he shall never be idle in heaven. I love it so much. I just think it flows so beautifully, and God bless Byron, I love him. So perhaps I'm a little bit biased on that front, but I do thoroughly enjoy that one. So the next poem is the Keats one. Perhaps apt that I should read Keats so suddenly after Byron, and heaven knows I am not abandoning Byron for Keats. I could not, I would not, but I thought I'd give this a go anyway. So this is To Autumn. Season of mists and mellow fruitfulness, close bosom friend of the maturing sun, conspiring with him how to load and bless with fruits the vines that round the thatch eave run, to bend his apples the mossed cotton trees, and fill a fruit with ripeness to the core, to swell the gourd and plump the hazel shells with a sweet kernel, to setting budding more, and still more later flowers for the bees, until they think warm days will never cease, for summer has o'erbrimmed their clammy cells. Who had not seen thee oft amid thy store, sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or in half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fumes of poppies while they hook, spared the next swath and all its twined flowers. And sometimes, like a gleaner thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look thou watchest the last oozings hour by hours. Where are the songs of spring? Aye, where are they? Think not of them, thou hast thy music too, while barred clouds bloom the soft dying day, and touch the stubble plains with rosy hue. Then in a wailful choir the small gnats mourn among the river sallows borne aloft, or sinking as the light winds lives or dies, and full-grown lambs loud bleat from hilly bourne. Hedge crickets sing, and now with tremble soft the red-breast whistles from a garden croft, and gathering swallows twitters in the skies. It's good. It's interesting. I particularly like the line, "Where are the songs of spring? Aye, what are they? Think not of them. Thou hast thy music too." I like that. I like that line a lot, or those two lines a lot. But rhythmically, it's not as good as the Byron one. And I'm not just being biased, I just don't think it flows as well. But I think the imagery is great. So good for Keats. And we'll go with the last one now. So, as I said, the last one, this is Walter de la Mare. The poem is called Silver. And this book is really good. It's described as a delightful anthology. It's a timeless collection of poems chosen by classic FM listeners. And there is an awful lot of variety in here. There's so much going on in here. There is definitely a poem for everybody, or several poems for everybody. So this is a really short poem. It's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14 lines. So we have Silver by Walter de la Mare. Slowly, silently, now the moon walks the night in her silver shoon. This way and that she peers and sees silver fruit upon silver trees. One by one the casements catch her beams beneath the silvery thatch. Couched in his kennel like a log, with paws of silver sleeps the dog. From their shadowy coat the white breasts peep of doves in a silver feathered sleep. A harvest mouse goes scampering by, with silver claws and silver eye. And moveless fish in the water gleam by silver reeds in a silver stream. I think that is lovely. That is beautiful. I really love the way it flows. I love the language. Ordinarily, I don't like poems that heavily use the S sound. Sibilance is never something I've been particularly fond of. But in this instance, it's very soft, very gentle, rather than snaky. It's very beautiful. Yes, I think that's what I'm going to keep coming back to again and again. So 3 poems. 1 I love. 1 is good for Keats. And I'm sure I'll learn to love Keats eventually. And 3rd one is very brief, very melodic, very soft. And I like that a lot. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's not overly long, but it's long enough. If you have any suggestions, either for more poetry readings, any poems that you'd like to hear, do let me know. I have a list of potential poems and poets to explore. In case anybody hasn't noticed, I tend to do every second ASMR video as a poetry one. So I would like also suggestions for the in-between ASMR videos as well. Anything that isn't a role play. I don't do role plays. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was a little bit relaxing, and I hope you enjoyed the poems as well, particularly. Suggestions, if you have any, leave a comment, send me an email, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!